Good morning, and thank you so much for joining our Warrior Spirit. We're in our Fulfillment Formula series, and it's walking you through steps to transforming whatever area of life that you are looking to achieve something new and different. Today, we're going to talk about how belief impacts our thoughts. And if you don't like where you're at, you have to change where and what you're believing. Your personal perceptions of reality are determined by the beliefs you hold. This does not necessarily make them real, except for the fact that you believe they are. Your beliefs create and dictate what your attitudes are. Your attitudes create and dictate how you respond. In other words, they dictate your feelings. And your feelings largely determine how you behave. Often fear or emotional reactivity is a result of the feelings that come up related to limiting beliefs. We'll discuss about those more towards the end of our time together. Just to reorient you, if you've been following along in the journey, you know that our fulfillment formula is based on the logical levels of change by Robert Dilts. We've talked about purpose, vision, identity, values on Tuesday, and beliefs today. What I hope you can see from the introduction is that all of these pieces are really important, because if our beliefs are not where we want them to be, we have to go back up to the highest level, which is purpose, and realign all of those areas. Because if our beliefs aren't in alignment with our purpose, we're going to have a really hard time working through our capabilities and behaviors and environment in the things that we're hoping to achieve. So thanks for joining, and we're going to go ahead and get started on today's material. If you're listening to this, you likely have goals you're wanting to achieve, but you have not. I want to ask you, what is stopping you? What is the first thing that comes to mind when I ask you, what is stopping you? I would take a wild guess that it's a limiting belief and or the fear, because they are killers to your growth and your dreams. Your beliefs are critical to your decisions and actions, and they effectively influence 95% of them. Limiting beliefs are stories you tell yourself that are not necessarily true, but based on your interpretation of life events, leading you to believe them to be true. They begin to influence how you see and respond to the world around you. Research has demonstrated that most emotional conditioning and habitual behaviors were set in place, in fact, at the very earliest ages of childhood. You were, in essence, programmed by the people who were around you in your life from those earliest stages. That could be parents, peers, or teachers. The core beliefs, behaviors, and attitudes held by these significant people in your life are often simply accepted as fact, and they become your truth. As children, we do not have the development capacity for critical, conscious scrutiny, and that doesn't come about until much later in life. But by that time, you're already hardwired within your subconscious mind with these beliefs that are then influencing your behaviors and your attitudes. And then you act on those things. As adults, these old programs are still running in our lives, even though they often don't even make sense. They could be limiting our expectations and may even be detrimental to your well-being. The goal of these beliefs is to filter what you're experiencing through them in order to protect you. Unfortunately, since they're often not accurate, they are not accomplishing the goal, but instead becoming your most significant obstacle to achieving your goal. So we're going to talk about some ways to identify what your limiting beliefs are, and then ways to overcome the limiting beliefs and the fears associated with them. The idea is that we face them head on so that then we can apply these strategies in a very conscious way to our subconscious mind to, in effect, reprogram our brains. So these beliefs place you in a box and they prevent you from trying new things and growing, which are both necessary for you to accomplish the things that you desire. I'm going to walk you through a few common limiting beliefs. There's blanks there so that you can fill in what it is that you hear in your own mind if you resonate with one of these. You cannot achieve because of this. You do not have the skills to accomplish what is it that you want to accomplish because why? You are not good at fill in the blank because why? You do not deserve because of this. The limiting belief is the because part. So I want you to think of, if you can, one belief that comes up as you are thinking through these different common beliefs. Then we want to go deeper into where did that limiting belief take formation? So to help you understand in greater detail where that originated, here are a few questions that can help you gain clarity on where this limiting belief became imprinted in your mind. So ask yourself, what happened and who was there? In your earliest memory of feeling that you weren't able to do something because of this, who was there? Who was saying that? In that moment, what was the negative decision you made about yourself or others? Was it that you couldn't trust yourself? Or maybe you couldn't trust others? At the time, how did that decision affect you? Did it keep you from progressing, moving forward? Did you lose your self-confidence? Evaluate your life and how, since that time, the decision you made in that moment has impacted you. What limits has that belief placed on you? Where has it or is it holding you back? Without understanding how you were programmed at a young age and determining your core beliefs, it's simply on to the next therapy, self-help book, or presentation, maybe like this, but it doesn't produce the results. Here at our Warrior Spirit, we're invested in helping you achieve meaningful growth. Many self-help, well-being, and psychology articles discuss multiple steps to personal growth. But meaningful growth is not just a list of action steps. Meaningful growth takes time, patience, and it comes from self-exploration taking personal responsibility, and nurturing self-awareness. Each week, as we're going through these different elements, we're encouraging you to take a deeper look at yourself. It's not about blaming others for the things that have happened in your life, but taking that personal responsibility, because the only thing that you can change is yourself. So let's look at how we can move forward and overcome limiting beliefs. Hopefully at this point, you've uncovered one limiting belief that has negatively impacted your ability to achieve your desired outcome. We are now going to suggest 9 steps that you can work through to help you move forward and overcome. First, understand. Understand that the limiting belief keeps you from achieving your full potential. It may take time, but you need to believe in yourself. You have to understand what's holding you back and believe in your ability to change. Second, you're going to acknowledge, as previously stated, your limiting belief may feel true. But you have to remember and acknowledge that they're only a point of view, and often it's a false one. 3, awareness. Notice when your internal voice expresses a limiting belief, which is not always obvious, so your job has to be on the constant lookout. That's a lot of the work that we're walking you through, is to increase your awareness of what's going on in your body and your mind and your spirit, so that you can decide if it is servicing you or if it is holding you back, and how you're going to move forward and approach that. You want to record. Write down whenever you hear a limiting belief voice. Walk through those questions that we shared earlier, so that you can gain clarity around where that is coming from, so that you can do the healing work to move forward. Do you see the same limiting belief popping up over and over again? Likely you will. These patterns will help you explain why you cannot achieve some of your dreams. The 5th step is to replace that limiting belief with an empowering belief, a belief that says you can change and that you can make your dreams a reality. Then you want to remind yourself, life is hard. Every day can be very hard. And you have to remind yourself that you have the capabilities to move forward. And we're going to talk more about capabilities next week, so I hope that you join us for that. But you can use many of the tools that we're sharing with you on Our Warrior Spirit. We provide affirmations, mindfulness exercises. You could write Post-it notes to yourself and stick them up, reminding yourself of the things that you're able to accomplish, what your dreams are. You might have a dream board. You may have your 5 core values listed in front of you. These are all ways to keep you moving in the right direction. 7, we want you to visualize. Think about what would happen if you did not have these limiting beliefs. Make your visualizations as vivid as possible, imagining yourself becoming the person who could be without this limiting belief, and that your dreams could become a reality. If you didn't listen to our webinar on visualization, I would encourage you to go back. Visualization is a tool that you can integrate in any aspect of your personal development. And if you listen to that webinar, it will remind you that our brains do not know the difference between what is real and what is not. And so you have the power to program your brain based off of what you tell it and how you surround it. Then we want you to seek out opportunities to practice your new enabling belief. So whatever that might be, if self-confidence is something that you struggle with, maybe you look for an opportunity that's really uncomfortable, like getting on screen and sharing a webinar. That was something that was an opportunity for me to really take my development to the next level. But looking for those opportunities and just putting into practice these enabling beliefs. And it's not about being successful or failing. It's about trying. It's about exposing yourself to the possibilities. It's not always going to be perfect, and you have to be willing to accept that. So look for opportunities and then celebrate your successes and even just the courage it takes to face these things. Celebrate your efforts. This is so important because if you don't take time to really recognize where you're growing and celebrate, you won't be able to keep going in the process because you'll just feel overwhelmed and that it's a daunting thing. So we hope that these help you. And then what we want to now do is we recognize our limiting beliefs. And then we know that those limiting beliefs, they lead to fear, or they lead to emotions that then lead to behaviors. So we want to now stop fear in its track. I think you're ready to move forward and start confronting your fears. How many times has fear of what might happen prevented you from taking action? Or maybe your fears caused emotional reactivity and you acted in a way that damaged yourself or others. Either way, when this is in place, when you're either not moving forward or you're reacting to these big emotions, you have to remember this is coming from a place of self-protection. Your brain has observed the situation, has filtered it through your belief system, and is now trying to warn you that this is something that is dangerous or something that you aren't capable of. So I want you to remember back to what was that limiting belief? And then I want you to walk through how does that manifest in your life? And if you can identify what that fear is, you could unlock the power to move forward in action. There is a download that's available on our website. It'll also be available in the show notes. And this is going to walk you through the steps to confronting your fear and allowing you to move forward with greater clarity, confidence, and success. You can take time on your own, but I'm just going to walk you through kind of what these steps are so that you have an idea of how to integrate this into moving forward. First, you're going to describe your fear. Again, we want to use as much creative words that elicit feelings and emotions surrounding that. You're going to walk through a series of questions that will allow you to create a deeper understanding of the root cause, similar to that limiting belief, because you want to know what was going on, who was involved in that. so that you can then go and do a healing work in that area. After you have been able to clearly identify the fear, you want to predict out what could be the worst case scenarios. What might happen if your fear came true? And then once you know what those worst case scenarios are, you can start brainstorming ways you could reduce the risk of that happening. Once you've thought through how to avoid it, then we want to look at what would you do if you were living the reality of your worst fear coming true? What resources you might need, who would you go to for help, those types of things. The last two questions I'd ask you to look at are, what are the benefits of you taking action? And then what are the consequences or results of you not taking action? By collecting all this information, you're able to calm your brain, choose how you want to react, and have a plan to move forward. We hope that you have found this webinar helpful in moving forward in meaningful growth. Remember, this is not a sprint, but a marathon. Be patient with yourself and accept that transformation is not an overnight thing. It's a process that's going to continue for the rest of your life. One thing that you uncover is going to lead to another opportunity. That's the exciting thing about having a growth mindset and going into life with looking, how can you learn and get more and bring more to the world around you and make a difference. Doing this deep work will bring greater fulfillment, happiness, and meaning to your life. Keep going. It's going to be worth it. Remember, you are brave. You are strong. You are fierce, and you will overcome. Thank you for your time today. It is Raina and I's mission to help extraordinary people achieve impossible goals. At least you think they're impossible. We're here to help you make them be possible. We want to see change in our own lives and change in the lives of our community. We provide a community where there is inspiration and connection of like-minded individuals who are pursuing true change in their life, their health, and their overall well-being. Please help us in our mission by following us on our social media. You can see here, you can scan that QR code and it's going to take you to all of our different platforms, or you can also see our social media handles and our website. Our website is going to provide you access to all of the downloads that we create for our community. You'll have affirmation cards, you'll have journals, there's worksheets, there's workbooks. You can find our videos on our YouTube channel that correlate with those different worksheets. We link to those in the show notes. And if you're ready to take your transformation to the next level, you can go to our website and schedule a free coaching session. In this session, you can work through and talk about where it is that you are and where it is that you want to go. We can give you ideas. We can talk about how coaching would benefit you in the process, but you will leave with a path forward based on whatever it is that you feel is going to be best for you. Have a great day, and we will look forward to seeing you next week, where Raina will be talking to us about capabilities.